Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's special presentation entitled Preparing for a Market Breakout. My name is Glenn Tompkins, Senior Stock Market Strategist for VectorVest. It's my pleasure to be here and glad to have you here. So, as you know, as many of you do know, the VectorVest management team and education department took a trip to New York this week. We were hosted by the NASDAQ, and it was an amazing moment to have our names on the marquee in Times Square on the NASDAQ tower. So we did bring back a couple of pictures. Here's your whole education team, headed up by our leader, Ray Clark. We had Ryan Shook, Ron Wheeler, Jerry D'Ambrosio, Jim Penna, myself, Steve Chappell, and Todd Schaefer taking a picture in front of the bull. Next one, this was an amazing moment. We did not get to ring the closing bell, but we got to get on the podium and take a picture. Here's your whole team again, our management team, as well as the education department. This is an awesome picture, but the picture that trumps them all is this picture right here, folks. That's right. NASDAQ congratulates VectorVest on 36 years in business, trusted by over 1 million investors, now powered by NASDAQ data. Here's our name on the tower, and this again is in Times Square. This is a crowning moment here for us at VectorVest, and it was an amazing trip, so I wanted to give you some shots of what was going on there. All right, so the next thing we're going to do, we're going to get right into the software. From there, it's going to be a very succinct, individual type of presentation this evening, and you'll see why in a second. As I record, the PCE number came in showing that inflation has cooled, so the euphoria should be running high that we're going to get a rate cut. When that's going to happen, we don't know, but we are preparing for a breakout. The color guard is mildly bullish. VectorVest does advocate caution still when buying stocks at this time, but we are with one tick in the green as I record. This gives us 2 days in a row where the price column of the VectorVest composite is in the green. Let's take a look at the graph. Here's our market timing graph. We'll change from stock to market timing. And from here, I'm going to change the lookout a little bit. I'm going to put us on a 3-month graph, and this is a tough time. The market's moving sideways. So at some point in time, it's got to break one way or the other, right? So I'm going to change the price. I'm going to right-click on the price box, change the type to line. I want to take out a little bit of the noise. I'm going to show you what we're in right now. Horizontal line, there's a level of resistance and a level of support. This is a tough time to make money in the market. And again, with inflation cooling, people feeling more euphoric about the idea that the Fed is going to cut interest rates at some point in time, we are going to plan for a breakout, preferably to the upside. So now, where are we going to find stocks to get us prepared for the breakout? Now, let's go to the Viewers tab. Many of you do know that we do have special watch lists, but we're going to concentrate on one today. I'm going to go to the Watch List Viewer. I'm going to scroll down to Special Watch Lists. From here, we're going to go down to the NASDAQ 100. Since we got hosted by the NASDAQ, why not keep the momentum going and looking at NASDAQ stocks? Now, there's a couple of things here. Why look at the NASDAQ stocks? Because some of the hottest stocks on the planet happen to find their homes in the NASDAQ. Now, we're not looking at the whole NASDAQ, just the top 100. Currently, there's 101 stocks in the NASDAQ 100. That is what it is, and that's not a bad thing, all right? But here are some of the hottest stocks: NVIDIA, Meta, Google, Synopsys, Amazon, Applied Material, AMD, Netflix, Palo Alto, a lot of stocks that are in here that everybody knows about. Well, they're very well known, and they're in a hot watch list of stocks. So we're going to look at these stocks and see which ones are ready for a breakout to the upside. So what we're going to do now, we're going to click on Graph All. What we're going to look at today is the NPI, or Near Perfect Indicator, as a means to finding out what stocks are really getting prepared for a breakout. I'm going to put this on a 3-month graph, and from here, what are we looking at? Well, we're looking at moving averages of RT, a 5-day moving average and a 40-day moving average. The 40-day moving average helps to show on RT, again, cutting out a lot of the noise, if it's on the rise or not. But the 5-day moving average of RT, which is depicted by the green line, will give us good entry and exit points. When we have, let's talk about on the upper graph, we're also looking at a 5 and a 40-day on the stop price of the stock as well. What we're looking for on top with the stop price is the blue line, which is the 5-day moving average of the stop, to be above the red line, which is the 40-day moving average of the stop. What we want to see is if there is trend in the stock's price. When the blue line is above the red line, we have trend. Even if the stock's price is falling, the trend is still there and will keep you in the stock as the trend starts to pick back up again. On the bottom, though, these are good entry and exit points. When the 5-day moving average of RT crosses above the 40, which is the green going above the red, that's a good entry point. Even though there's trend here, the entry point was saying, wait, now we're in. The 5 days above the 40, we have trend with the blue line being above the red line. Look at that move. Currently, if we're getting ready for a breakout, looking at the stock's price pulling off of the high, am I ready to take this as a breakout stock yet? I love the graph. I love all of the information on the stock. It's a great stock, but maybe not right now for a breakout stock. I'm watching the 5-day moving average of RT creep closer to the 40-day as an opportunity to wait for another opportunity. Let's go to Meta. We have trend where the blue line is above the red line. We've got a trigger. I call it a trigger when the 5 goes above the 40. Bingo. Trend with the blue line above the 40 and trigger. What am I waiting for as a breakout stock? I'm looking at a 3-month graph. I'm looking to see if it can break above this value of 531.49. Once that happens, I think that this is a prime stock for a breakout to the upside. Wow, Google looks at bottom left, top right. Even though the trigger is not there, I love the graph. A lot of great trend, new 3-month high. You can either wait for the trigger to hit, which is the 5-day moving average of RT to cross above, or you know something, with the way this graph looks, I feel comfortable getting in. I always like to buy on an up day though. Today, looking at it as I record this, the stock's price is going down. I would like to buy on an up day, but I love that graph. Going to synopsis. A little bit more volatile in the move. I've got a level of resistance at the 3-month high of about 622.50. I'd like to see it break above that to conform with what I'm looking for as a breakout. Amazon, nicely moving higher. Nice 3-month high yesterday. A little bit of a pullback today. We do have trend in that the blue line is above the red line, or the 5 is above the 40. We do have trigger, where the 5-day moving average of RT is above the 40-day. I just wouldn't buy it on the down day. I always like to make sure that I'm buying into a stock as it's rising, but I can see historically the stock's price has been on the rise. Let's go to AMAT. Bottom left, top right, but a pullback off the high. I'd like to see it take out that level of the 3-month high before I pull the trigger, especially if I'm looking at a breakout to the upside. AMD, coming off of the 3-month high, trending lower. Not sure I feel this. I know it's in a hot space, but you know something? As you can see, we can find better stocks that are better poised for a breakout than this one. Netflix, new 3-month high a few days ago, pulling back off the high. I'm watching the 5 get closer to the 40 on RT. That tells me the stock is losing some momentum, but the trend is there. The stock's price is moving up. T-Mobile, a little bit of a wedge going on right now. I would like to see it break out of the wedge. I wouldn't have to wait for it to get to that high if it breaks out of the wedge. After it breaks out of the wedge and hopefully keeps going higher, it'll break through the 3-month high. RT is still in place as well. Let's go to the next one. Palo Alto, new 3-month high, a lot of give back today. We do have trigger with the 5 above the 40. We do have trend. I like the play. I only want to make sure I'm buying it on an up day. And wow, look at that, Intuit. Nicely moving up, fading this gap down, which is a positive sign. Do I have to wait for the 3-month high? Preferably yes, but the stock is definitely on the rise. New level of trend kicking in along with the trigger, I like the play. I think if the market moves higher or pull this stock higher, I do like the play. I'm going to go through these really quick. Melly, not quite yet. ASML, not quite yet. AVGO, even after earnings, it definitely faded 2 gaps right here. That's not a bullish sign. Autodesk, little sideways move, even though we have both trend and trigger, a little sideways move. Wow, Costco looks really good. I'd like to see it get out of this level of support, break above that 3-month high. We're not far from it. I'm looking at about 874.90 as a possible stock right there for breaking out. NXPI coming off of the high, and we just lost the 5 going below the 40 on RT. Wow, Adobe looks good. No fadation of the gap right here. New 3-month high. We've got trend. We've got to trigger the 5 above the 40. I like that play. Cadence coming off of the high. I'm not feeling that one just quite yet. So now I'm going to do you a bonus one. That was just looking at the list of over 100 stocks at VST. I'm going to do something real quick. Since we're looking for breakout, let's use another indicator that you'll only find in VectorVest, which is RT times CI. Stocks that are in an uptrend that are resilient to lengthy price declines. Good combination, especially if you're looking for stocks for a breakout. All right, let's graph these all real quick. Look at them. 3-month graph. You know what I said about NVIDIA. Let's see if there's any new stocks in here. CLAC is a new one. It wasn't on the other list. I do like the movement off of this level of support. Let's go look at from a breakout perspective. Let's go see it break above this level of 876.55. Love the graph though. Bottom left, top right. Let's go to the next stock real quick. CrowdStrike definitely needs to break above this 3-month high. I do like that after this gap here, we never faded the gap. That's a bullish sign. I just like to see us break above that level of resistance. Next one, LCRX. I like the rebound coming off a level of support. We're not far from the 3-month high. Let's break above that first. AMAT. AMAT we already looked at. Costco we already looked at. AVGO. Faded the gap. That's a bearish sign on AVGO. All right, let's go to the next one. MU Micron. You know, they beat earnings and beat revenue, but it was the forward guidance that hurt them. It was the forward guidance that hurt them. Look at the 5 from RT. 5 is below the 40. It's losing momentum. We still have trend for those longer-term people trying to hold the stock. It is definitely moving from the bottom left to the top right, but I'd be careful with this from a breakout perspective. Let's go see if it can get above this level of resistance first. A few other stocks. Wow, Google looks good. Let's go. We looked at Synopsys. We looked at Meta. QCOM, a stock in the list. Again, pulled back off of the high, faded the gap, finding a level of support. Yeah, I'm definitely looking to see if it can break above that level of the 3-month high of about 230. Let's go to the next one. Netflix. Let's go see if it can break above that level. Wow, that's a good level of resistance. Touch, near, touch. That's a good level of resistance at 688, 690, 689.88. Watch, the stock is losing some momentum. That makes sense as the stock is starting to move sideways. NXPI pulling off the high. ASML pulling off the high. CDNS. Ross Stores, another new stock. It started to fade the gap here and then very quickly went back up, but it is pulling off the high. It's settling at a level of support at about 145 or so. I'd definitely like to see it come up above that level of the 3-month level of resistance. Cintas, I like the move. Just a few days off a 3-month high sideways move. Wow, we lost trigger. The 5 went below the 40 on RT. It means it's just getting tired from a momentum perspective. And the last stock is Amazon. I just would not buy it on a down day, but it is definitely moving bottom left to top right. And we do have trigger here. I think it's got some more upside, but I just make sure I would buy on an update. Folks, that's it in a nutshell. I love that we had an opportunity to visit the NASDAQ as a team. We got our name up in the marquee on Times Square in Manhattan. Got to spend a lot of great time. Well, it was a little time. It was a 1-day turnaround trip with great people, this great company of employees all got to go together. Folks, so we're looking possibly for a breakout to the upside, and why not look at NASDAQ stocks? Again, some of the hottest stocks in the market are found in the NASDAQ, and just looking at the NPI or near perfect indicator graph as a means to get in, I think that's a great recipe to make money in the market. Folks, thank you guys so much for being here, and until the next time, see ya.